Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah, Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz, tea time. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time, time.
Well, welcome to Tea Time. It is tea time again, and it is an evening tea. That's right, we are here in the evening tonight, and I have an incredible guest joining me in the studio on Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. I have the Chief Executive Officer, Terri Brinston, joining me in the room tonight, and she will be talking about the youths and a bunch of different other things. She is also a motivational speaker. She is an incredible lady. So I'm just going to do a little intro, a little disclaimer, and then we're going to jump in and we're going to spill some good old tea tonight. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Times live shows. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to use your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time shows hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forth dialogue and opinions that may not represent my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participations are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connections and is not providing therapeutical services or advice. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, you are freely, or the panelist discussion, you are freely to contact me, Miss Liz, at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in this show in any aspect, I, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that this show is not made for you at this time, I will see you at a future show at a later date. Now I'm going to bring the guest in, and I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, and then we're going to jump in, and we're going to spill some good old tea, and we're going to talk about the youths tonight. That's right, time to talk youths. So Terri Brinston she struggled with learning disability and was a special education student throughout grade school. However, after graduating from high school, she embraced that everything she needed was already inside her. Through God's grace and hard work, Terri became an RN, teacher, international motivational speaker, life coach, consultant, and author who thrives on helping people achieve their goals in life. Now, if you'd like to know more on Terri, please check out Miss Liz's Facebook page or my LinkedIn page. All of her beautiful information is there, and you can find out all of the incredible links. Plus, they'll be popping up during conversation, so be sure to check that out. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the box, and I will pull them up as we discuss tonight's tea. So, Terri, welcome. And my mouth is just a digga going tonight, so I'm really just spilling the tea. Miss Liz is a little hyper tonight. It must be the tea. It must be the sugar in the tea.
Hey, I should have had me a glass, but thank you so much for having me, Liz. I've been looking forward to this all month.
So, Terri, let's get into it. Let's just jump in and spill this tea. So, what got you started in doing what you do today for the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation?
Well, I thank you again for having me, and thank you for everyone for listening and tuning in. I truly appreciate this opportunity to speak with you. I definitely do not take it for granted. Like Liz said, that I struggled myself with learning disability as a young woman all the way through grade school. Had a struggle with reading and math, and just had a horrible time. And through that time, as growing up, I was very self-conscious, had very low self-esteem, and just did not see myself thriving. I just recognized, accepted the fact that my life was just going to be average. And when my father got sick with cancer and I was caring for him, he said I should be a nurse. He said, you should be a nurse. And at first I thought he was a little confused because I'm thinking, of course, he doesn't know who he's talking to because I was the dumb one. That's how I felt about myself. And he said, no, I know who I'm talking to. You should be a nurse. You're very gentle, and this is something you should pursue. And so that was the first time that I really saw another possibility for myself. And after he had passed, I really started to kind of look into the opportunity and seeing where I was. And my current reality was I had very low self-esteem. I didn't think I was attractive. I didn't think people respected me. I didn't have a voice. But I recognized where I was, but I also recognized where I wanted to be. And through my life, I kind of took on that way of thinking, that not really focusing on where I was, but really just focusing on where I wanted to be, and recognizing when I actually achieved my goals. I became a registered nurse. I got my master's in education. I went on to go into teaching. I teach a vocational program and high school teacher for over 25 years. But I recognized that I started seeing the same types of struggles in the youth that I was serving in the high school. And so I changed my program completely around where I dealt with those barriers first before I started teaching them medical terminology and anatomy and physiology, because they had convinced themselves that they were not capable of being doctors and nurses and things like that. And so that's where it actually started, me actually teaching my students every day in the classroom. And I started recognizing that there's so many other children that struggle with those self-limiting beliefs and all of those barriers, from incarcerated family members, learning disabilities, medical issues that they may be dealing with. And I recognize that this is something that it's national. We need to help these children. And so I've got so many results from doing it in the classroom. My students, I can go to the hospital and I see doctors and nurses that have come through my program, thousands and thousands, because I've been teaching for 25 years. And I said, you know what, we need to address this issue with other students. And I started my foundation, which is the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation.
Terri, as you were mentioning, you were mentioning all the negative talk that you did as a child. So as an adult now who mentors children and youths now, how did you get over that self-talk?
Well, you know what? I struggled with it way into my adulthood. And so I will be very transparent with that. But the way that I really got through it to the point where I could silence it enough so that I could go on with my education was through prayer, and reading God's word and allowing myself to see myself through the way that Christ saw me. And I think that was really one of the ways that I kind of silenced it, because it was so loud to me. It was very difficult for me to get over it, but definitely through prayer and just recognizing that there was a creator who made me and he didn't make a mistake, and really had to allow that to overshadow the voices or the things that I was telling myself.
Now, do you feel that a lot of people that work with the youths have struggled as a youth themselves?
Mm-hmm. I find that that's where their passion comes from, and it takes a special kind of person to deal with youth, because it's very difficult. You have to have a lot of patience. And sometimes when you have not encountered the struggles that, our youth are going through, then it's very difficult for you to put yourself in their shoes and be patient enough to be able to reach them. And I think that was really my gift, is that I went through such a struggle that I had such a compassion for these young people, because, I kind of look at their behavior issues as them calling out. And for whatever reason, it could be they're calling out for help because they're hungry, or they have an incarcerated family member, or they're unhappy and they don't know how to deal with their anger. So I think that when a person can put their self or they've walked in those shoes and they struggled as a young person, that they're more compassionate about working with youth. That's my opinion.
Well, they can resonate, right? Because they've had that struggle themselves. So they're able to, and I say this all the time with all of the guests that have been on Tea Time. In order to make a difference, we have to really understand, right? And the ones that actually live it and go through it actually are the ones that are able to help the other ones, that the future generation of what's going on, you know, because you struggled with self-esteem and low motivation and stuff like that. You went into a field that you were like, this is what I needed when I was a youth. So let me create something that I needed in order to create the next generation and the next movement, right? I find that a lot of people, that's what they do is, and that's exactly what Miss Liz does is, I mean, this is what I needed growing up. So this is what Miss Liz does. Right. This is what Terri needed. So this is what Terri does. You know, we all have our personal stories and our personal growth on ways we want to make the difference, and we want to create that path, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So did you come up with a name, Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation, or was it a group of people? Like, how did that come about?
That's interesting you said that. You know, I've always resonated with the word nurturing. You know, I felt like, you know, I had a very close family. So I was very, very cared for as a young woman. You know, my father, my mother was there, and I had brothers and sisters. And so I've always felt that I was surrounded, my church family, my friends, and that was very, you know, nurturing for me. And I found as being an educator that a lot of our children don't have that. You know, there's a lot of void in their life if they don't have that nurturing. And so I resonated with that word because I felt it, and I wanted the young people that I work with to feel that nurturing. And also, I say, and part of my mission is we deal with youth holistically. And so, you know, not only dealing with their mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, we deal with the whole person. And I think that kind of derived from me being a registered nurse. The fact that we're not just dealing with illness, we're dealing with the entire person. And so making sure that our young people understand that wellness is not just absence of illness, and that it encompasses the entire person. So the Nurturing Wellness Foundation, that's where I kind of got that from.
I really like that you said the wellness, right? Because as soon as people say wellness, they think doctors and, you know, illnesses and stuff like that. But our mental health is also very important. You know, our educational health is very important as well. And we don't speak enough about the educational health mindset. Right. You know, a lot of people who come from poverty or troubled families, they feel that they're not valued enough or worth enough to get that education. Or how do I get the education? Where do I go for the education? You know, and I think this is where your program and foundation comes in, is you show and you direct the youth on how they can get to that stage and get the education.
Absolutely. And I think part of the process that we embrace is, like I said, that village type of approach. I can only take the students and the parents so far, right? And then I recognize that once they go through my program, either through coaching or through counseling or working with them, some of my workshops that I provide, I help them to recognize that they want more out of life. You know, I kind of think of it like what my father did to me. He kind of lit that fire in me to let me know that, you know what, you need to understand that there's a possibility. And so what I do is I help the young people to start dreaming again and start to recognize that I can be more, do more, in regardless of what cards I was dealt. So I get the young people to the point where they are ready to accept help. And then we identify, well, what type of help do you need in order to get where you want to go? And that's where the village comes in. And so that's why I love I love connecting with people. I reached out to you because I saw your platform and the type of people you speak with, and they have such just amazing things that people are doing. But the issue is you have the services and then you have the youth, and they don't know about each other, And so I try to bridge that gap between the services and the youth, and also preparing the parents to say, okay, you know what? There is an answer for your issue. It's not hopeless. And I think sometimes our young people and our parents, they get to the point where it's like, I can't do anything about it. And it's like, no, if there's a will, there's definitely a way.
Well, I like the way that you said that, Terry, because this is what I've been trying to tell a lot of people and show a lot of people. There are so many incredible organizations, foundations, movements out there, individuals who are making a difference, but no one is aware of them. And this is what this platform is for. It's not to, fill the fame later or anything. It's to bring educational awareness that there are incredible things out there in the world that we do not know about because the awareness is not there. And like you said, the students are looking for it, but they don't know where to go for it. They don't know how to find it. And this is what this platform is for, is so that people can find the Nurturing Wellness Foundation, the group foundation, so that maybe if you've never heard of Terry's foundation, you know of it now, and you can share it and you can give it to somebody else. You can plant the seed. It's like Terry said, we're a village. We can only give you the information. What you do with it after is up to you. It's like you said, your father put the fire in you. And Miss Liz only plants seeds. Like, that's all we're here for, is we're planting seeds and putting fires in people to build your passion and to dream again, to get out there and try it. And if it's different, who cares? Try it. If you don't try, you don't know, right? And I think that's what I really liked about your platform, Terry, is that you're giving the children, the youths, that hope again. The inspiration of saying, hey, you can do it. Yes, you came from this, but let me find the solutions. Let's see where we can go. Let's find the right resources. Maybe if I don't have it, maybe somebody else has it, but that connection I have might have the answer you're looking for. And this is what we do, is we just keep planting different seeds and watering them, and the village grows by watering the seeds. And this is exactly what Terry is doing with Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. And this is what Miss Liz is here for, is so that we can plant seeds, so that we can grow together, so that we can create a difference for the youths out there. Now, for all the youths that are listening now and will watch the replay later, because you can watch these tea times as many times as you want. So if you missed something or you had to go to the bathroom or something, you can come back and you can watch it again. These tea times are all up for a lifetime. So if in 5 years you say, hey, I seen a tea time and I want to reach out to Terry, how do I find Terry? Well, Terry's information is all there. And if Terry changes her information, Miss Liz gives an update on the new information. So this is what we do, is we just create an awareness platform, and create different organizations and movements. And Terry, your foundation has really made a difference in your area and with the people that you work with. So for your services, what kind of programs do you provide with the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation?
Well, we provide quite a few. I work with other nonprofits who provide services to youth and young adults, but they don't have programming. So, for example, they may have a grant and they want to provide self-motivation class, self-awareness, stress and management, employability skills, and they are trying to reach the youth and provide them with services, but they don't have programming. So we go in and we do an evaluation to find out exactly the message or the objectives that they're trying to meet, and see if it's a match. Because we stay in our lane. I know what I do well, but if I do find that there's additional services that they want to provide, then I can connect with my resources and I recommend them. But that's part of the thing, working with nonprofits or other organizations who want to provide programs. Another thing we do is coaching for parents. What I'm finding is we have young adults who are failure to thrive. And so, especially with this pandemic, with our kids being delayed from having to be homeschooled or dealing with the fear because of the pandemic or self-esteem or other issues. And so what I do is we come alongside with the parents and we help them to identify what can they do in order to help their child to thrive, or what are they not doing that is really, preventing their child from thriving. And then alongside, we also provide one-on-one coaching for that child when they're ready, to help them to get rid of any of the barriers that they are preventing. Sometimes it's self-confidence, or sometimes they haven't conquered certain milestones in their personal life that they need some support in overcoming communications, or being shy, or not being confident in their abilities and things like that. So we help the young adult, and we also help the parents to be able to support that young person. And so coaching, I do speaking as well. I've had an opportunity to do several international on several international platforms, and just talking to parents and talking to entrepreneurs who are trying to balance work-life balance. That's another thing, as being a teacher and a nurse. I recognize that young people, sometimes we feel like we can't do everything, and you can't, but you have to understand what's a priority, what's a priority in your life, and how do you run a successful business while managing your family. And so sometimes I'll speak on things like that, and just, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm getting ready I still teach, because I having a hard time cutting that off, because I love to do it, in the classroom, but God willing, I'll be retiring soon, and I'll be able to run the foundation full time. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So coaching, I have a wonderful team of people. I don't do this by myself. Of course, I have other speakers and medical professionals that I work with me, that are on my team, that we provide the classes and workshops and coaching. So it's a passion. I get so excited about talking to that young person, and they recognize that, oh, I see a path to where I'm trying to go, and to me, I just get so excited about that, because I can help them. I see them actually figuring it out a lot earlier than I did. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of feel like I wasted so much time trying to get over those barriers, and to be able to help a young person to recognize that you have what you need in you. You just have to get out of your own way, and you have to rewrite that story that you wrote that you were a failure. Let's rewrite a story that indicates that you are successful. And so that's what I enjoy working with youth, and that's what we do.
Well, I really like that you mentioned the parenting coaching. Now, with parenting coaching, I know that the younger generation has had children at a young age. I myself was a young mom. Do you find that is a struggle as well for the youths today, having young parents who didn't have that education, who didn't have these services that are out there?
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think that was part of the problem. Not only coaching them to be better parents, but coaching them to be a better person, because like you said, if you're growing up with your child, it's so many things you're missing, and so.
Well, you're a child having a child, right? So you
Right.
don't have the resources or the mindset or the education to
Yeah,
give that child the proper resources, right?
absolutely. Or they're just doing the best that they can. And
Yeah,
that's what awareness does. It's not so much that they're doing it wrong, because parenting is trial and error,
it is.
right?
It
And so
is.
every kid is different. And so, but to help them to really work through that and recognize, what do I need to do for this child? Or what do I need to do for me, so that I can be a better parent? And so, and also recognizing that, you're not going to get it perfect. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so a lot of times what I'm running into is that these parents, out of guilt, um, they don't have those boundaries, because they feel like I should be doing more. And then you get off balance, because now they're giving their child everything, trying to cover up the fact that they don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
or they're dealing with the fact that they don't want confrontation. So they make a lot of decisions to avoid confrontation and they don't parent, or they're dealing with the fact that they just don't know what to do. And that is pretty much the three areas that I'm finding. And to just be able to allow parents to be honest and say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. I need some help. Is just so rewarding because they release the fact of that pride and being embarrassed, and they don't know me, you know, I don't get around them, but it's like they can say, I don't like this child right now, you know.
Especially when they're not ours, right? We can, but even when they are ours, at this moment, I'm not really liking my kid right now.
Right. I'm like, okay, been there.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes to hear, I know what you're going through. Oh, I've worked with parents who've been through that. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm not strange. You know, this is something that we just go through. And just being able to go through that and then empowering them to be able to make little tweaks or make changes. And then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but we got other things that we can do. And also it helps people, parents, what I find is once they start really talking with me and my team members, they recognize that they don't have to live in a tunnel. You know, they can talk to people and they can ask questions, you know, and I kind of share how, hey, I didn't know how to raise these two boys with my husband. Sometimes I wanted to strangle these kids. And I talk about, you know, friends, you know, in my church and how they helped me. But, you know, you can't get help if you don't open your mouth. Nobody knows what you're going through. So just being that support for parents, especially in this time, you know, just dealing with social media, dealing with all the things that our young people are going through. It's definitely a challenge. And I think that part of our success is we recognize it's a challenge, but we also recognize that we don't have all the answers. And that's where that village comes in, you know.
I love the word that you're using, village. I love that word, village, because we do need a village to raise our children. A lot of parents are like, well, that's my kid. You know what? God didn't give us this kid so that we could just bundle him up and hide him in the corner. He gave us this child so we could show him to the world, be proud of this child and say, you know what? Help me. I don't have all the answers. Could you help me? You know, it's like making a cup of tea. We need the milk and sugar to go with a perfect cup of tea. We need that support. We need somebody to boil the water, you know, give us the cup. And this is what we need with children and our youth today is we need that support. And we need to have services like yours, Terri, that can say, you know what, I don't only help the youths, I help the parents too. Because when you said that right away, it was like, whoa, what? The support for parents, because there's a lot of programs out there that are for the youths but not for the parents. And I think that it starts with the family. I had a guest on from Chile for Brave Up, and we had talked about cyberbullying, and cyberbullying doesn't only start in schools, it'd be starting at home. So it's just like our youths, the issue might be at home, but they have nobody to turn to say, hey, fix it. Or it's like you said, if you don't open your mouth, you can't help anybody, right? So if nobody knows of the problem, how can we find solutions? And we really need to start finding solutions for these children.
Right, absolutely.
You know,
that's the motivation for us putting together our conference that we have coming up. It's called Help for Childhood Barriers. And the audience we're asking to attend is parents and counselors and youth leaders, people who work with young people and they come across certain situations and they don't know how to deal with it. And so our speakers are speakers who focus on different areas of barriers. So, for example, we categorize barriers in 3 different categories. We say that there's internal barriers, which is usually one-time issues. These are like lack of knowledge. So you have a barrier of education, or you have a barrier of being in debt and not knowing how to manage your money, or you have a barrier of time management. And so you just need to increase your skills. So we have speakers that are going to speak to solutions of how to deal with internal barriers. And the other one is external barriers. Those are things like things are out of your control, like economic, natural disasters, physical liabilities, illness, state of our government. These are things that we don't have control over, but there's always services out there that supports that. So if you're
Yeah.
dealing with tragedy of your home, there's funding programs that are available. There's, support out there to help you with these different issues that are out of your control. Maybe there's a group that's maybe your child is dealing with new diagnosis of being a diabetic. There are services out there, there are support groups out there that can help your child to thrive in those things. So speakers, we have speakers that are dealing specifically with external barriers. And there's also the third area, which is habitual barriers. And these are like things like you're in your own way, those self-limiting beliefs, those stories that you create about yourself and you accept them as being fact. And so what we deal with speakers that deals with, mental health or anger management, dealing with, self-limiting beliefs and time management and things like that. And so this conference is free to attendees. It's on Eventbrite, and I'll give you the link. But I'm so excited for this because as a teacher, working in education and working as a youth leader, you come across young people that are struggling with something, and it's like, they're there. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. And it's like, okay, there's a solution. So empowering those parents and those people who work with youth to have resources that they can refer, so that they are not powerless, what I'm saying? So they have an answer. And so that's what this conference is. It's actually coming up on August the 20th and the 21st. The 20th is there's the presenters are going to just present, but on the 21st we have a panel discussion where you can actually ask specific questions about a panel.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so I'm so looking forward to it. This is our first year hosting this, and so I'm just so excited for it because I have so many parents that ask me, oh, what do I do for this, or what do I do for that, or who should I talk to? And it's like, oh, there's so many services, like you said on your show. You have speakers that are so knowledgeable about different things, and it's like, man, if I could just get him connected to her,
Well, that's what I do is I connect the dots, right? I spill that tea and my tea just kind of flows over. Okay, yeah, you two are going together. The mess is going together, and a mess is a good thing because this is what the youths want to see. They want to see us imperfected. They don't want to see perfection because they're going through so much with their mental health and with the transformation of their bodies, their images. There's so much going on with a youth. Like a youth is going through a lot.
And I'm glad you said that because that being transparent as parents, and that's one of the things. That's one of I go through different sessions with the parents on different topics, but one of the topics I talk about is to be honest with your children. They see you where you are right now. They don't see your struggle. And so sometimes you have to let them know that, hey, we had to struggle. I didn't just get this car or this house or, get this education. I had to go through X, Y, and Z. And I think that by being transparent with your children, it allows them to respect you a little bit more. They understand your journey, and they understand that also it gives them permission to fail, because if they think, okay, your life is perfect and this is what I'm seeing, I don't see struggle. So that means when I struggle, I feel bad about it. I'm embarrassed about it because I don't know what it looks like. And so sometimes, so I encourage parents to look, tell your child that you struggled in high school. Tell your child that you struggled with drinking. Tell your child that you X, Y, and Z, because they will resonate and will respect the fact that there was struggle to get to where you are. That means that I can get out of this, and so that's one of the things we definitely encourage our parents to do. And sometimes it's embarrassing, right? I maxed out my credit cards, I struggle with this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, yes, but I learned that you don't do this, and so being transparent with our children and letting them know that, life is hard. And, through trial and error and through support, asking for help, not being so proud. Somebody, I may be very knowledgeable about this, and you may be very knowledgeable about that. Let's come together and share it and grow together. And so that's one of the things that we definitely support our parents to understand, that, okay, you need to let your kids know when you struggled and what you went through.
Well, I think it gives an empowering message to our children as well, right? Because some children have it that mom and dad are so perfect, and mom and dad have all this money and they can do this and they can do that and they can do anything. So then they get this entitlement in them that they feel like, oh, well, I can do this. I can do this. It doesn't matter what you guys say because my family has this. And I think that's where the separation and division comes in. But if we start showing our children transparency, I tell my kids, I'm a roller coaster. Your mom is up, your mom is down. I don't know what ride you're getting today, but you're getting a mom. That's all I know you're getting, and I think that it actually has built the relationship of my children by showing them that mom is not perfect. Mom does have her faults. Mom is learning too,
Yeah.
And I think by giving that message to our children out there, and the way that your program is running, Terri, it is actually giving the children permission to say, hey, mom, I failed that test.
Right.
Mom, I need more help. Mom, can you get me a tutor? Mom, can you help me find resources? Or dad, let's not forget about the dads out there too. But it gives them that permission to say, can I talk to you? Can I come to you? But when we show them perfection, our children don't come to us. Our children end up going into drugs, into addictions, into gangs because they don't have anybody to talk to. So they talk to.
Yeah, they feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. They don't see it, and that's, you're absolutely right. They don't feel, they feel like they're being judged. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, she's perfect. I'm not perfect. It's like, I can't go to her. And that's one of the things that I really learned. And like I said, parenting is trial and error, telling my children, when I make a mistake, that I'm sorry, mom made a mistake, and I had an opportunity, you've been following me a little bit on my Facebook page. My son is an engineer. He works for Boeing, and he lives in Italy. He'll be there for a couple of years. And so,
yeah, I got to see Italy. Like, it is gorgeous. I travel the world through my friends' pictures. I swear to God, I'm just like, oh, I'm in Italy today. I'm in Switzerland. I'm in London.
Such a great opportunity. I'm still bubbling from that opportunity. But one of the things that I had an opportunity to see is the fruit of, parenting. It's like, oh, he embraced, forgiveness. He embraced asking for help. He embraced, apologizing, and he just became such an amazing man. And I was just so proud because I could see, those intentional parenting things that I did that were hard, but I did them, and I could see the fruit of my labor, And so anyway, as parents, to be able to empower parents and help them to help their young people to be the best citizens that they can be, is such a great opportunity for sure for me.
Oh, and your pictures are gorgeous. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like, what? And I was like, where is that? I think it was one of the pictures you put up about the museum. And I was like, where's that museum? Like, where is that? And you're like, that's in Italy, Liz. And I was like, what? Where are you, girl? Like,
oh, it was so great. Another thing I tell you about this program, which really kind of spin off of the attitude that our youth struggle, but they are good in some things, right? And they're bad in some things. And so what we ended up doing, this is more of a club. It's called What Now? And this is a program through our Nurturing Wellness group. And what it is young adults who manage this program. And we recognize that when our teenagers graduate from high school, they leave behind not only high school, but they leave their counselors, their teachers, their friends, and this entire support system that has been their support for 12 years, right? They leave it.
Yeah.
And so if they're not college bound and going into, further education, what do? It's like, what now? And so what we do is through the program, is we have young adults who identify, we put them through a training where we talk to them about self-esteem and time management and making decisions and problem solving and things like that. So they go through a program. But one of the things that I love the most is they are required to create a product or a service around something that they're passionate about. And so, for example, if they love to write, they have to do some type of class about writing. And so we give them the success, right? Some type of success. And they are empowering other youth that may struggle with writing. And so they're kind of sharing their wisdom with each other with this platform. And so we do some other things with the platform, but that's my favorite, that the young people get an opportunity to express the things that they're good at. And then the other youth that are struggling in that area, they get an opportunity to receive that information. And so they do mentoring and different things like that. And we connect with different resources. And so if they're dealing with finances or education or time management, employability skills, they can go through a different path as well. But this program is for young adults after they graduate from high school, and they need to connect to those resources that they connected to when they were in high school. So that's called What Now?
That's awesome. What now? I like that. What now? Like, what do we do now, right?
Like, what's up now?
Oh, I got a little technical issue here. My hearing aid just popped out, but there we go. I got you.
Okay. All right.
So I want to get into your tea, Terri, because that's what we are. We're here for tea, right? So what is Terri's tea? So if I give you the word tea, what would your 3 words be?
I thought about this when you said this, and I was just kind of, it really popped in really easy. I thought it was going to be difficult, but I got it. T is testimony. T stands for test. I would say that would be testimony. E is extraordinary. So do you mind if I give you a little bit more information of why I'm selecting?
Exactly. I want to know why these words are coming.
Okay. So T for testimony, I actually am an author as well. Yep. I wrote a book, Grateful for the Journey, Surviving COVID-19. And through that book, I really shared my testimony, and to people, I hope they receive it as, you got to look back so that you can move forward. Look at how God really, how your life has really, the things that happened to you, like you were sharing, it really set me up for the passion to serve others. And so by me going through COVID, I had an opportunity to really get very present to, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I so passionate about helping young people? And it's because I myself went through that journey. So that's my testimony. Extraordinary, I help young people to recognize that they can be extraordinary by making different changes. And I think just embracing that attitude of being extraordinary. I think sometimes I struggle with even recognizing that I could be extraordinary, because I want to, am I being arrogant, or, by saying that? It's like, no, I can be extraordinary. And that's what I try to help my young people to be, and my parents and the people I work with. And available. I just want to be available. Honestly, as a Christian woman, I just want to be available for whatever Christ has for me to do, and for so many years, I was like this because I was so consumed with me and me being okay. And so through my tragedies and things that I've gone through in life, I've learned to just be available. And so that's my tea.
I really like your tea because it does show me who you are as an individual, Terry. Because testimony, the testimony of a little girl growing into the present, extraordinary. That's exactly who you are right now. Like you are right in the present, and you are making all these huge, huge differences in so many children's lives and youth's lives, parents' lives. Because you're not just including the youths, you're including the parents as well. And available, of course, in the future, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be available. This girl's like, if anybody needs her, come and reach out to her. Like, I really think that you're really going to make that strong impact that will change lives, Terry. And you are changing lives already. But in the future, I see you really opening some extra doors because by sharing your transparency, you are giving the youths that are listening to this program, whether they're listening live or the replay or watching it in a year from now, they will say, this woman was really transparent. This woman really wanted to see us grow, wanted our parents to grow as well. Because when we help the parents grow, we help the children grow. It's that village again. And I really love that you've been using that word village a lot on Tea Time today, is because we don't have enough villages that are supporting villages. We need that support. We have all of these different villages that are my village is better than your village. Well, stop the village competing. Let's just water everybody's flowers and see the beauty of humanity, of growing and sharing and making a difference for the youth by being examples, you know?
I saw a person when you showed that they were watching Robin Wilson. I just need to give her a little shout out. Miss Robin was one of the young women in the youth department that I used to work with. And she is a speaker. She has her own business, and her story is just absolutely amazing. And so just that, when I was talking to you about the fruit, she was one of the young women that I had an opportunity to pour in, and then she ended up pouring back into me. And so she is an amazing speaker, motivational. We work together on, she deals with a literacy program. And so she's one of my partners that I refer people to when they're dealing with literacy issues. So I just wanted to give Robin Wilson a shout out.
Yeah, well, Robin is really amazing. I've been following Robin too. Like she's done some really incredible work in that, and she's putting about a bunch of shout outs in here. She's got people's names in here, so those people do check out this Tea Time. If you miss the beginning of the show, don't worry. You can watch the replay. Plus, it will be on all audio devices. So anybody who is watching Tea Times, if you are listening to the audio, all of the description will have Terry's information in there. So if you're, how do I reach Terry? Where do I get Terry? Well, look in the description box. Miss Liz puts it all in there. I get it in there for everyone out there. So, and if you don't know how to reach her and you can find it in the description box because of your resources that you're using, laptop, phones, or devices, please just reach out to Miss Liz and I will connect you guys, because that's what I do is I connect. I'm the connector. I just connect different teas together, and that's how we grow. We do different flavors, different blends, and that. So, Terry, what message do you have for the youth that are listening right now out there?
Uh, well, I guess I would say don't give up and ask for help. Help is there. And I think that was one of the things that I find, that there's so much unnecessary pride. And, you know, and that's the thing. Everybody is trying to look good and avoid looking bad. And so that really prevents us from being extraordinary, right? And so my message to the youth is just never give up and don't be afraid to ask for help, regardless of how you think it's going to make you look, regardless of what you think people are going to say about you. But you have to open your mouth and ask for help, and then help is there for sure.
Well, I really like that you mentioned ask for help. Speak up, because that's what we need. We need to speak up. We don't need to start shouting. We don't need to start roaring at each other. We just need to start speaking up and saying, "Hey, I need a little help. Do you know someone?"
Right.
And it's like you said, Terry, at the beginning of the show, is if you didn't know who else could you refer them to, and through the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation, you have those resources. You have different nonprofits that can. So if your program doesn't have it, another program has it, and the partnering up and collaboration together is really important and a strong message to give to our youths. It's okay to collaborate with people, make an incredible song out there, do some artwork together, make a movement, make a passion, and yes, as adults do here, you youths, we know you're hurting. We know that you're looking for resources and services. This is why we have these programs. We have awareness for you to reach out to us. And don't feel that you will be judged because you reach out to programs. It is a strong thing to ask for help. We have to start giving that message to our children and being transparent again and saying it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to break down. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be frustrated,
Right.
So if anybody would like to get in part of the program, is there volunteers that you're looking for? Is there collaboration that you're looking for?
Oh, I'm looking for everything.
She just wants it all. Just
Right.
put it in the pot. We just want it all.
Just reach out to me. Now we're looking for partners we do vet our partners, because when we refer organizations and people to support our young people, we want to make sure that they have quality programs. And so always looking for partners. So if you work with youth, you have a service or a program and your heart is in the right place, then definitely reach out for me. If you're a parent and you need help, we do free consultations. A lot of the programs that I provide are free because we seek grants and funders. If you are trying to write off some donations, if you want to donate to our cause, absolutely, that's available too. We just try to meet people where they are. So you want to be a speaker, you want to educate youth, you need support. If you're a counselor, you work in a school system and you need a needs assessment to find out what are the best programs for your particular school. We do that as well. And so we try to, just like I said, bridge that gap and help. Our mission is the youth, and that's where we start. And sometimes that takes us in different directions, but we definitely focus on what we know and what we don't know. We have a village that we connect them with. So absolutely.
So before we wrap up your tea time, we're getting almost close to the hour. So Terri, yeah, I know. It's just like, it just flies by, right? This is how tea time is. You feel so relaxed, right? You're just having a cup of tea with Miss Liz here.
I can't believe
But
that.
let's mention again the conference, because I really want to get that conference out there. So if anybody would like to attend this conference, is it a virtual conference? Is it in person? Where could they get the tickets? All that good stuff.
Yes, it's a free conference. It's virtual. It is going to be on August the 20th and the 21st. And so Eventbrite, they can access the free tickets on Eventbrite. I don't know if Miss Liz, what I'll do is I'll give you a link to the Eventbrite. Maybe we can post it.
Oh, I can do an update. Yep.
Yeah, so on Miss Liz's platform, Teatime, you can click on that Eventbrite and go ahead and reserve your tickets. And then that way you'll receive a link for the session. And so absolutely looking for many parents, many organizations just to attend and just get introduced to all of these amazing resources.
So are you looking for any speakers?
I am. I'm looking for speakers. If you deal with any type of support or resources to help parents, to help young adults, to help children, grade school children, if you have any type of service or support that you feel that would match, reach out to me and I can talk with you specifically. There is a link available that I'll give to Ms. Liz, and it has a video of giving you specific information of what type of speakers I'm looking for. Check it out, see if it's a fit for you. If it's not, please still just share the information about your conference so that it could be very well attended. So yes, definitely you're a speaker that deals with emotions, or dealing with parenting, or just a variety of things. If you think that you have a service that would help our parents, then please reach out to me.
Oh, I think Robin she has a link up here, so I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah, she said here is the link. So I'm going to put it in. So anybody who watches the video who doesn't know where to find the link is in the video. So you can see it on the video audio. And I will put that link also in the description.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Robin is just in here, just power slamming this tea time. So anybody who is going to join and watch the tea time, I am truly honored to have all of your support. And tea time is an awareness platform. It is to make an awareness for all different topics, all different subjects. Sometimes some of the subjects are a little tougher than others, but we need those topics out there in order to make a difference and to bring awareness that we can make a difference with pain and turn it into triumph and make missions and do incredible movements and foundations like the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. That's a lot in my mouth all at once, but it's worth it. It is truly worth it. So check out the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. And if you can help in any way, please reach out and help, and reach out to Terri. And if you can't reach Terri, you can always reach Miss Liz. And I really want to thank each and every one of you for joining me for Tea Time. I really do encourage you guys to check out all of the Tea Times, because there's a different message from each of the guests. If one tea time doesn't resonate with you, another one will. And that's what I do, is I bring different to the table, because not all stories and not all topics matter to someone. So if one topic doesn't matter to you, the next one will. There are incredible, incredible guests out there. So reach out to them, connect with each other, stay connected. And that's what we do, is make a difference with tea, is by teaching educational awareness. Now, I will be back with a whole bunch of new guests in August. That's right. August guests have been released. If you check Miss Liz's page, the sunflowers are coming. That's right, sunflowers. And why I went with sunflowers for August was because sunflowers bloom in August. They actually stand in the sunlight. So this is what we're doing, is we're bringing a lot of standing guests in August. And the next guest that will be coming is Nelia Hutt, who has an incredible movement, who I will connect you with, Terri, because I think it will actually make a difference. She has the ukulele project, and she also does the Give, Live, and the Give, Travel, and Live program. And she has a podcast as well that actually helps with bringing awareness to different services and that as well, that are changing lives. And her story is changing lives. So she has an incredible book that she'll be sharing, and that. So be sure to check that out. August 4th, 7 p.m., Nelia will be joining us. But I want to thank Terri Brinston for joining me for tea tonight and sharing a strong cup of tea. So if you'd like to share with the audience again what your tea was tonight, so we can get these extravagant words out there, because I think they're just amazing. They're a strong tea.
Absolutely. So testimony, extraordinary, and available.
Awesome. And this is what we do, is we serve strong tea. Each tea is different. And I encourage everyone out there to do this with your family. Ask them what their tea is. Get some words out of these youths. Terri, use it at your conference. What is your tea? Get them to give you words. And I'd be honored to know what their words are, because I really love seeing different teas come, and especially from the youths. What kind of words would they give us, right? That we might not even think of. So they might open doors for us for new services and new programs and new outlets, because they give us words, and words do matter when they're used in a positive way. So a cup of tea is positive. Everyone can spill tea. So again, thank you, Terri, for joining me on Tea Time. Thank you to Robin Wilson. Thank you, Cynthia Hickman, for joining. Thank you to all the viewers and listeners out there. We're on multiple platforms. And if you'd like to see Tea Time, check out Miss Liz's YouTube channel. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, share it with your friends, and say, hey, this woman's sharing tea. So that's what we do, is we make a difference. And oh my goodness, we have it right there. I'm going to share. Available is the TEA. Again, Cynthia and Terri. Cynthia was in here. That's why I said Cynthia. See, I'm spilling tea now. Miss Liz is spilling tea. I think it's time to close the show. But this is what we do is we spill tea. So again, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your TEA with us, Terry. And I hope you all the best for your August conference. If you need anything at all, I'm right here. So we will get those links out. So again, thank you all. And I will see you August 4th, 7 p.m. with a new tea time.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. God bless.